Let's talk about active and passive articulators today. Active articulators are the articulators that move from their initial position to articulate with the other articulators, while passive articulators are the articulators that do not move from their initial position. This is the basic difference between these two. Generally, the articulators situated in the lower jaw are active articulators, and articulators situated in the upper jaw are passive articulators. However, this is not the rule, there is an exception. The exception is the soft palate. We'll talk about soft palate later on. Let us first of all understand active articulators situated in the lower jaw. The active articulators situated in the lower jaw are lower lip, lower teeth and tongue. Let us first of all understand lower lip. Lower lip, an active articulator which articulates from its initial position, which moves from its initial position to articulate with the upper lip, and the sounds produced with the help of lower lip and upper lip are called bilabial sounds. Okay, another articulator, active articulator situated in the lower jaw is teeth. Lower teeth. So lower teeth is an active articulator that moves from its initial position to articulate with upper lip to produce labiodental sounds. Lips produce bilabial sounds and labiodental sounds. Lower lip as an active articulator involves in the production of bilabial sound and the labiodental sound. Okay, teeth involves in the production of labiodental sound. The most important active articulator is tongue, because tongue is involved in the production of so many sounds, a lot of sounds. As you know that tongue is so important an organ of speech that language itself is called tongue, when we generally call it is our mother tongue, right? So the importance of tongue is higher than any other articulator in the production of speech sounds. Let us try to understand tongue. Tongue as an active articulator is involved in the production of consonants as well as the vowels. During the production of consonants, it moves from its initial position to articulate with other organs. Say for instance, during the production of dental sounds, the tongue touches the teeth, upper teeth. Tongue also moves from its initial position to touch the alveolar ridge to produce alveolar sounds. It also moves from its initial position to touch hard palate to produce palatal sounds. It also moves from its initial position to touch soft palate to produce velar sounds. Tongue is raised to certain specific height to produce vowel sounds, and different parts of tongue, though they are imaginary parts, different parts of tongue, right front part, central part and back part of the tongue is raised to a specific height to produce vowel sounds. Now there is another active articulator, but this is situated in the upper jaw. Soft palate. Soft palate is actually an active articulator as well as a passive articulator. How? This we have to understand. We have seen that tongue moves from its initial position to touch the soft palate when we produce velar sounds. What happens? Say for instance, there is a velar sound called k in English. During the production of k sound, tongue moves from its initial position to touch the soft palate and it's blocked, and suddenly it moves away from it so that k sound is produced. So in that sense, soft palate is a passive articulator, but soft palate also has another role to play during the production of speech sound. Soft palate assumes different positions, two different positions in fact. One is that it remains in the lowered condition, and the other is that it remains in the raised condition. If soft palate is in the lowered condition, remember, if soft palate is in the raised condition, air escapes through both the sides. Both the sides means through nasal cavity and the oral cavity. Air can escape through nasal cavity as well as through the oral cavity. When air escapes through the nasal cavity, the sounds produced are called nasal sounds, and when air escapes through the oral cavity, the sounds produced are called oral sounds. When soft palate is raised, it blocks the nasal passage. Air cannot escape through the nasal passage when soft palate is raised. Therefore, only oral sounds are produced when soft palate is in the raised condition. One more thing we have to remember, when soft palate is in the lowered condition, air can escape through both the cavities, nasal cavity as well as oral cavity. But if oral cavity is blocked somewhere, then air can only escape through the nasal cavity, and the sounds produced are called nasal sounds. And if both the passages are open and air escapes simultaneously through nasal cavity as well as the oral cavity, these sounds are called nasalized sounds. That is what we have to understand in relation to this role of soft palate in the production of speech sounds. What we have seen is there are two types of articulators, active articulators and passive articulators. Active articulators move from their initial position, passive articulators do not move from their initial position. Active articulators are generally situated in the lower jaw, but soft palate is an exception. The active articulators are lip, lower lip in fact, lower teeth and tongue, and the soft palate. This is what we are speaking in relation to the articulators. I hope you have understood the difference between active articulators and the passive articulators. Thank you.